Operation Fatherhood here. I want to start doing some more videos on marriage because I feel like if you know, for the Christian male, marriage is really kind of a partner to fatherhood. In the Christian view of things, when you get married, you're trying to become one, one, one. So oneness meaning there's this like divine interaction between two individuals, two fleshly human beings, right? So you're trying to make this thing that we call marriage, this divine thing that God gave us, to be something that works in our flesh, in our earthly realm, meaning you're trying to be on the same page with each other mentally, same page with each other emotionally. And again, that's the difficult thing because you're made of flesh, you're imperfect, right? And so you're trying to work on making this thing click and go together and be on the same page with each other spiritually. And that's why I would encourage a lot of people to do premarital counseling. Now, I'm not going to go through that here, but if you have a good premarital counselor before you get married, many times they can help you think about things that you never thought about before you jump that broom, as it were. But anyway, marriage and fatherhood, like marriage, and I know not everybody's situation is the same or was the same as, like, say, for example, me and my wife and I had our son, a baby boy, 5 years after we got married. So we knew she was pregnant 4 years into our marriage. And so we had time to kind of learn to adapt each other, our moods, quirks, all that good stuff. And then so we were a little more mature. Now, my son came into the world, we had to learn to adapt to some new things, being broke a lot more often. Hospital bills come in and those good, those things. I was about to say good things, but they're not. I don't think they're good necessarily. They're good for the hospital, I guess. But it's one of those things that we had to now we had to relearn how to, in a sense, be married, but it's really just taking on another aspect of marriage because we're now having this beautiful child. So it's one of those things to make sure we remember that marriage is beautiful and it is something in and of itself. But when you have a child, and then start having children, there's a change that takes place. So you have to learn, a part of becoming one with each other in marriage, you're having to learn to be adaptable. That's difficult for a lot of us, but we have to work at it. So you have to learn to adapt to the other person. And now, having another child, now you have to learn to adapt again, because if for a lot of women, not all women, but for a lot of women, you go through a lot of changes mentally, emotionally, physically, with having a child. It's a lot that comes with that territory. So for us as fathers, we have to really take the time to see, okay, what is she going through emotionally? What is she going through mentally? What is she going through physically? Because she's going to go through things with her body that is not something that is naturally understandable to us as males. So therefore, we have to relearn, okay, how do I be faithful and be loving and be respectful to my wife after having a child? Something to think about.